All right, class, this is going to be lesson 7-1. 7-1 is all about graphing. This chapter we're going to be doing a lot of graphing and functions. Okay, so the first thing we need to learn is what this graph here represents. It represents 4 different quadrants. Okay, each quadrant is very unique in itself by how we place the coordinate points that we will get later on. This first quadrant is actually right here. This is quadrant 1. We'll call it quadrant 1. Anything that goes in quadrant 1 has a positive coordinate point set. Okay? Which means the x number and the y number both need to be positive. The next quadrant we have is going to be quadrant 2, which will be right over here. And we're using Roman numerals because that's just how they've always set up this graph. If you notice, anything that goes in quadrant 2 is going to have a positive and a negative. Well, to know which one is which, you should always know that this is your x and this is your y. So which means my set needs to have a negative x, but then a positive y. The next quadrant is quadrant 3, which is going to be right below that. Quadrant 3, you'll notice, is very unique because it's both negative. So it doesn't matter which one. It's when you have both numbers negative, you're going to be down here in quadrant 3. And then finally, your last quadrant is quadrant 4. And again, you'll see that you have a positive and you have a negative. However, this time, your x value is positive, but your y value is negative. Understanding where these points go will help you with your homework, most importantly. So let's say we were going to graph a number. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, if I was going to graph a number, let's say I got a coordinate point set or ordered pair of 3, 2. Okay, your x always comes first, then your y. This will never change. So always just remember xy, xy. Again, which one is your x? This is your x, and this is your y. So I'm actually going to use 3 as my x in red, and my 2 will be green, which is y. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over on my x line over to 3. It's right about there. Okay, I'm not putting my dot there, I'm just showing you where it's located. And then I'm going to go to my y line, and I'm going to go up to 2, which is here. Now if I draw an invisible line here, I want these 2 points to meet. Do you see where they met? Where they met is where you would place your dot for 3, 2. You go over 3, up 2. Okay, let's try another one. What if I gave you the value -1, 4? Again, x, y. Using the same colors, I'm going to show you how to graph this ordered pair. So I'm going to get red for my x, which is -1. Now this is my x line, which means I need to come over here. -1's right there. Then I need a green color for my y, and I'm going to go up to 4. +4 on my y line. If you look at the y line, there's only one +4 because this one down here is negative. It's a good way to make sure you're in the right area. Okay, I'm going to go over 1. But this one's going to come all the way up. And where those 2 lines met is where your ordered pair goes. So this is the ordered pair for -1, 4. Okay, what if I gave you this one of -6, -8? Okay, they're both negative, so you know you're going to be down here in quadrant 3. So let's do my x value first. X value is right here, so I'm going to start with -6. And then let's do my y value, which is -8, which is way down here. So now I can kind of draw my line out. Now once you get better at this, you actually will stop drawing these lines. This is just mostly for me to kind of guide you in how I got to that certain point. And here is where my quadrant ordered pair would fall. -6, -8. And now you can keep going on and on with this. So let me go ahead and give you some more examples of where all of these ordered pair points would go. Let me go ahead and erase all this real fast. Okay, let's try. What if I asked which quadrant a certain value would fall into? So let's look at an ordered pair. And the question's asking which quadrant would this ordered pair fall into? Well, without even graphing it, you should be able to notice that you have an xy value here. So you have an x of -2, which is going to be this one, and you have a y of +4. If I put those two together, I'm going to be over here in quadrant 2. So the answer to this one would be quadrant 2. We always usually write them in Roman numerals. Okay, what about this one? What if we had -3, -2? Okay, well, they're both negative, which means I have a -3 here, I have a -2 here, so I am looking down here at quadrant 3. So the answer to that one would be quadrant 3. Okay, what if I had 2, 5? 2, 5 would be 2 and 5, so I'm obviously looking here at quadrant 1. So the answer here would be 1. And then finally for my last one, let's say I had 6, -6. Okay, so we have 6, and then we'd have -6. Bring those two together, and I would be at quadrant 4. Okay, well, hopefully that's enough to help you with your homework. Have a good day.